Greetings, students! I'd like to return to an old topic today, one of the most well-known of our investigations, emojis. There is a news item that came out soon after my emoji research was first published, which piqued my interest at the time, but that I haven't given the proper attention to on this channel. As reported in the October 26, 2016 edition of the New York Times, the Museum of Modern Art in New York bought the original set of emojis from the Japanese telephone company that developed them. These were a set of 176 images rendered on a 12 by 12 pixel grid in 6 colors: black, red, orange, lilac, grass green, and royal blue. These were the seeds out of which grew the contemporary emoji set, of which there are currently 3,633. As most viewers of this channel know, it wasn't until Unicode 8 that the consortium bound the spirits from the Lesser Key of Solomon into the emojis as such. However, there does seem to be some interesting groundwork laid in this initial set. A close reading of the set yields some interesting data. I would first like to point out the number of pixels. 12 by 12 yields 144, which is twice the number of 72, which is the number of face core emojis in Unicode 8, and similarly, the number of demons in the Ars Goetia. This number, 142, is of relevance also whenever you consider the work of 17th century magician Dr. Rudd, who claimed that for each demon, there was a specific thwarting angel, thus raising the number of spirits from 72 to 144. However, this set of symbols does not seem to engage in binary opposition. The presence of 6 colors suggests otherwise. This might be taken to be meaningless until we realize that the 6 colors used in these original emoji are still the 6 colors used in emoji today. While the Apple emoji set does offer some sophisticated shading that might be taken to indicate additional colors by a contrarian, there is a clear dominance of these 6 shades amongst Unicode 8, though not even in dispersal. Yellow obviously dominates, being the core color used for the circle on which the faces are painted. Green, however, is only reserved for a single detail on a single emoji. The only color that occasionally replaces the dominance of yellow is purple, but it is only used on the so-called devil figures. But why?
Professor?
Yes.
There's one figure that has purple, but it's not a devil.
Which is that?
The eggplant.
Yes.
Do you know about the eggplant emoji, Professor?
Yes, quite a sinister reputation, that one.
Do you know what it means?
Yes, I believe that it refers to a sort of fruit which, at its smallest stage, resembles an egg on a vine, but as it grows larger, grows purple.
Professor, when people use the eggplant emoji...
They're hungry for baba ganoush, perhaps.
Alright, that's fine. That's very hungry for baba ganoush, that's it.
There's a little feast of baba ganoush tonight, perhaps on some naan bread.
Just sort of a like reminder, get the baba ganoush ready, I'm coming home.
I've just come up with a joke for you.
Right, go ahead then.
When is bread not bread?
I don't know.
When it is non-bread.
I never heard that one before, Professor.
Just came up with it right on the spot.
Right, that's very clever.
Very well. Shall we continue?
Right, go on.
We can gain an insight into the occult virtues of these colors by examining a Rosetta Stone that is buried amongst the 176, the 12 Zodiac Signs. These 12 use 4 colors in a repeating pattern: red, yellow, green, blue, beginning with Aries the Ram. These symbols are presented in order such that the effect is that Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius are all rendered in red. While this might seem to be a mere aesthetic design choice, sharp-eyed viewers may have noticed a correspondence. Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius are the 3 signs attributed to the element of fire. The pattern holds for the other elements. Earth elements are rendered in yellow, air elements in green, and water elements in blue. This leaves unaccounted for purple and black. There are 2 theories I'd like to bring to bear here. One is, we must recall that we are working with a Japanese set of symbols and not a Western one. Though, as evidenced by the inclusion of zodiacal symbols, there is certainly a large degree of integration going on here. The presence of black brings to mind the fifth classical Chinese element of void. This is reinforced by the presence amongst the other symbols of a filled-in black circle. Though the context seems to suggest that this be taken as new moon, itself a replacement of the major night luminary with a shadow, it is a bleak symbol that reminds one of Robert Flood's Et sic in infinitum black square. The final unaccounted for color is purple. This color is odd for its rarity. While even the other colors have a somewhat even distribution amongst themselves, purple is extremely rare, accounting for a mere 5% of the 176 images, where an even distribution would nearly triple that to 14%. In order to understand where the purple may lie in this scheme, I resort to the layered elemental model of the universe. This states that each sphere is ruled by an element: fire in the stars, air in the sky, water in the ocean, earth underground. But then, beneath the earth, fire again. These are none other than the infernal fires of hell, or the magmic core of the earth, whichever suits your fancy. This accords with the manifestation of purple in the Unicode 8 set. It only appears on the two signs known as Smiling Face with Horns and Imp. This attribution throws the original emoji set into a disturbing light. What could the purple martini be but poison? Did the curators at MoMA crack this code and see the purple artist's palette as an invitation for their art museum to participate in an infernal pact? And just what is this purple face laughing at? The darkest shade of all is one suggested by the purple lotus blossom. The typical symbol of the lotus is one of enlightenment. Though it rises out of the scum of a still water pond, the lotus opens to reveal the pristine beauty of a flower in a context of fungal decay. In traditional Buddhism, the pond is taken to be the set of illusions that constitute the material world. The irony that it is the material world which create the conditions for enlightenment, for transcending it, is one of the points of this complicated symbol. But in the bleak halls of the cell phone towers, the purple coloring on this lotus shows us where the roots of their wisdom truly lies. It has been a most informative meditation on these symbols, but what end does the acquisition of this original set of emoji serve MoMA? Allow me to quote the New York Times. MoMA's acquisition adds the emoji set to a growing collection of digital objects, including the @ symbol and a selection of video games. When MoMA acquired the @ symbol in 2010, Paola Antonelli, the senior curator of the Department of Architecture and Design, called it perhaps, quote, the only true free object in MoMA's collection. The addition of the @ sign relies on the assumption that physical possession of an object as a requirement for acquisition is no longer necessary to the museum, she wrote. It has freed curators to collect objects too large to fit within the building, like, say, satellites, and works too ephemeral to hang like a painting, like emoji. MoMA and other museums like it specialize in the collection of art. However, with this new turn, they have gained access to a technology which allows them to collect things, quote, too ephemeral to hang like a painting. This distinction is interesting in regard to digital objects because the museum already had the ability to collect such works, as noted in their acquisition of the works of Marina Abramovic, a performance artist who, frankly, deserves her own episode. No, I think that emojis and the @ symbol refer to a different type of authority than merely one over ephemerality. Could it be that the museum is attempting to lay the bureaucratic groundwork to own things as ephemeral as a human soul? Time will tell. Or perhaps that lot shall fall to me. As many of you know, I have a Patreon where you can go to support the research that I do, as well as the work of my colleagues, which will appear on this channel in the future. I have also designed some merchandise that you may be interested in. Please click the link below. Thank you, my students. I shall be back soon with more gems mined from the deep. Until then, may the pyramid's eye watch over us all.